And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm about to drop here in the next few hours the latest PCC Multiverse, where we talk about the world of video games and what's going on there. Plus, if you want to see what we think is going to go on this Memorial Day weekend with the battle at the box office, Tom Cruise versus Lilo and Stitch. Go ahead and check it out today, right there for you on Apple Podcasts and also as well Spotify on the Pop Culture Cosmos channel, indeed. Also here today, of course, is a good man indeed. It is, of course, John Costa, the man of all things when it comes to Lakers Corner and Clutch Talk. Please like and subscribe today. He has not been idle. Idle hands is not John Costa because he has been putting out a lot of shorts indeed. So go ahead and check out what he's doing today right there for you at Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner. When you like and subscribe, of course, indeed. Magic Man Sean Grice is here. I'll give him a proper introduction in a little bit, but don't forget him whenever he stops by playback or here. You can only catch him at one of these great places right here at the Lakers Fast Break because he is such a valued member of our Lakers Fast Break community, a key core, and the guy who we call the Joe Soros stopper. See, there's the Kobe stopper, and then there's the Joe Soros stopper. He is the Joe. Shuts down Joe Soros every time. I'm hoping to be on because usually he'll give you a couple snarky remarks before he comes on the air. So we'll see what happens.
That is great. Hey, Gerald, you gotta call Sean that when Joe's here. I want to see Joe's reaction to that. That is.
I'll try to remember that. Yes. See. Oh, there you go. Oh, did I call it or did I call it? Yeah.
Joe.
Hey, Gerald, touched a nerve. Hit a target, touch a nerve, Joe.
I'm just gauging where he's at and if he's paying attention. So if you give
he's
early
paying
little
attention.
jab, yeah, you know he's there. So it is, of course, Joe Soros coming on the way as well. But today's show, after we talk a little bit about what's going on with the NBA playoffs, today's show, we gave you last week the opportunity to go ahead and share your thoughts on how you think the Lakers should build this summer. And of course, on our chat, you're still going to probably go ahead and feel free to do so. But today it's our turn on how we think the Lakers, at least at this point, should go ahead and build out the summer and what they should look forward to, what players should they have interest in. If we were running the Los Angeles Lakers, what would we be doing this summer indeed? But it is, of course, the NBA playoffs. I wanted to hear some stuff that was going on, but we just got finished with game 2. OKC is now taking a commanding 2-0 lead with another, kind of nervous game for a little bit. It got kind of will they have a Indiana-style comeback? And then, of course, SGA quickly shut that down. So with that, of course, it is Minnesota behind 2-0, but New York Knicks are also down 1-0. Could they be trading partners for the Lakers? We'll go ahead and talk about all the variables here on today's show. But let me bring on John here right now. John, your impressions of the Western and Eastern Conference Finals so far. That was a classic game we had on last night. Playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. Vari is a happy guy today. I know Vari today was like, give the Indiana some credit. Yes, you have to give Indiana some credit for coming back in the game. Aaron Nesmith had the most unreal game of his life, or the unreal quarter of his life. But I think it signifies everything and everywhere out there in Knicks land when Halliburton hit the crazy shot, when actually he did like a Three Stooges whoop, 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 and then whoop, and then the ball went whoop, and then went back in. He put the choke sign. No matter what you say about Indiana and how well they played, which they did in that fourth quarter, nobody could take that away from them. Halliburton himself, John, put it best when he thought he had just won the game and did the choke sign.
Man, I mean, That game in particular was crazy. And honestly, that shot right there, it reminded me of the Kawhi shot. Remember the shot the Kawhi and the Raptors hit over the 76ers where it just bounce, 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 bounce. I think that shot is actually crazier because I've never seen that many bounces, period. But that one with Tyrese Halliburton, that was pretty crazy as well, too, especially with that move that he made. I mean, he just, he blew past his defender, then just I think realized he needed a three, he went back to the 3-point line, damn near had his foot on the line. And went ahead and hit that shot.
He did a KD. He did have his toe on the line.
He did a KD, right? Exactly.
Yes.
So that game game was crazy. But now, as far as like what I think in general of like what's been going on, with both the West and the East. The West, I just want to say, I told y'all. I mean, not Sean and Gerald, but everybody out there. I was telling people from during the season, before trade deadline, early periods in the season, OKC is legit, and they kept telling me like, no, they don't got, I can't see J-Dub being a true number 2 on a team, or no, Shea can't carry a team, or no, Shea won't get the same whistles during in playoffs, and I kept telling people over and over and over, yo, watch out for OKC. I'm telling you. And they're like, no, they're the same team as last year. I'm like, getting Isaiah Hartenstein changes everything, because Isaiah Hartenstein, he may not be like an MVP type difference, but what he does is he frees up Chet to be able to play outside in the perimeter. You allow Chet to be able to roam the perimeter a lot more. A lot of fours don't want to go out there. A lot of fours aren't used to being out there. And now you have to deal with the big inside, which is Isaiah Hartenstein. And then you got to deal with another big. They got a Twin Towers lineup. They can switch 1 through 5. I mean, I was saying this for so long. But what I will say I was wrong on was the fact that I had OKC going all the way to the finals, but I also had them losing to Boston in the finals. So I was wrong with that. So on the West, I'll take all the credit in the world. And I was trying to tell everybody, and this OKC team is a legit team. But in the East, man, I mean, I couldn't have been more wrong. I would not have guessed here that we'd be sitting talking about the Pacers potentially going to the finals. And the Pacers or the Knicks, to be honest with you. I mean, I think we all can agree the Knicks have potentially one of the best, like, starting 5. They have a really good lineup, but playoffs, it comes down to how deep you are. It comes off to who's going to provide that spark plug off the bench, because these scouting teams, they're so good. Like, they got a whole bunch of Stone Hansons over there who can scout you, from top to bottom. So they know what Jalen Brunson wants. They know what the star players want. They know what Tyrese Halliburton wants. But it's who can come off the bench and provide you that big bump. I mean, in game 1, the Pacers would have had 31 points off the bench, like 31 points off the bench to the Knicks, I believe, like 19 or something like that. That's gonna matter. Like, the Knicks are gonna get ran down. They are one rolled ankle away from being like out. Like, I already think they're gonna lose, but they're one rolled ankle away from not even being able to contend here with the Pacers, because they play 6-7 deep. If one of those guys rolls their ankle and they're out for like a half, even that's over for, man. So we're looking here at OKC and Pacers finals. It's kind of nasty, man. It's kind of nasty, but hey, we're here, man. Frank said, John, what about Mavs having OKC's number this season? But the thing is, brother, like, I mean, that's a good point. But the thing is, I'm a big believer that, like, I think regular season playoffs is like 2 different things. Like, you could sweep them in the season series in the regular season. That may give you a little bit more confidence, but playoffs is just played so much differently. And when you're in a really elite team like OKC, you can just, once you get to that point, turn it up to a whole nother level, man. But hey, we're about to see OKC and Pacers finals. I had OKC
Frank there. Well, Frank, you could say the Lakers had the Thunder
OKC's number, right?
Yeah. So I mean,
absolutely.
Dallas is sitting at home. The Lakers are sitting at home. So
come on, that's all that matter, right?
Both of us. Yeah. When did you beat OKC? If you beat them in January, or in the Lakers case, what was it? April, early April, before the season ended. It's great. That's fine. You can go ahead and use that as a talking point, but again, it's not in the playoffs, so that's all that matters, John.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, man.
No, Frank, you actually beat them twice. One of them was a rout. The other one was a close victory, I think, as well. 2 victories in a row in OKC.
Absolutely.
And it was actually over the course of 3 days, Frank,
What,
because it's
what,
one of those baseball series.
and it would have been 3, but thanks, JTR.
Yes,
Straight up,
exactly.
Sean. Tell him, Sean.
Yeah,
Straight up, man.
exactly.
But yeah,
So,
Gerald. But yeah, that's my thoughts on kind of everything that's going on here. But very happy to be here back with my guys, man. Seeing my guy Sean, seeing my guy Gerald. I need to see Joe. Where my boy Joe at?
He's hiding.
He's scared of the
Sean,
scared of the Joe
he saw
Soros
you on the
stopper.
stream. He's like, oh fuck, man.
He knew it. We've been chatting today. He knew I was coming for him today, and he's been ducking me.
Joe Soros stopper. Ooh, Ruben Patterson.
Stopper.
It is not Ruben Patterson. It is, of course, the madman from Toronto. He did get out of Toronto traffic to stop on by to stop Joe to talk about the NBA playoffs and what his vision is for the Lakers. It is a good man indeed. It is the Magic Man, Sean Grice. Sean, great to have you here. I know Frank. We're both. Our teams are both in Cancun fishing at this point. Frank, we're gonna have to go ahead. You at least have a great foundation point with Flag that you guys are going to draft. I think he's going to be a really, really good player in this league, and I wish him much success. We'll see how Nico's plan on defense will go, and we'll see what the Lakers' plan on building around Luka will go. We'll see how that he's mad. By the way, Frank, before I get into Magic Man, did We Talk Mavs turn into the Cap and Crown podcast? If they changed their name, why? Was it because of the Luka trade? I'd just like to hear your thoughts. I know you're close with those guys, so I just want to hear. They do an outstanding job. I was just curious why they changed their name so soon after the Luka trade. Was it coincidental? Was it not? It was. Okay. It was
rebranding, Gerald. That's a smart move. That's a smart move.
There you go. All right.
When the product becomes a little inferior, you got to rebrand and call it something new.
Well, maybe, Sean, if you're gifted
and not their product, the product on the court, the Mavs.
Yes. Well, if you're gifted the number one if you're gifted the number one draft pick, no, I'm kidding. They got it. It was a legit lottery. There's no frozen envelope, but still, maybe they'll turn it back to We Talk About. But those guys are just incredible.
Rel and King are great. Hopefully, they could come back in the summertime because I was itching to ask them to come on after the Luka trade, Gerald. But about a week after me and Gerald, we're like, it needs more time here.
I saw Frank's responses on that show afterwards. Yeah, I saw that show. I watched it. I took some time, and it's you know what? If it happened to us, I would ask to have some space and time.
Yeah, Gerald, it reminded me of one of those old Irish wakes where they're in the bar for like 3 or 4 days straight, just getting drunk with the dead person sitting there. That's kind of what it reminded me.
It was, again, if you're the Mavericks fan base, I'm hoping for Flag will go ahead and reignite your entire fan base, and I'm hoping they will rally around Cooper Flag until Nico Harrison gets rid of him in about 5 to 7 years. Okay. But it is Magic Man Sean Grice. Sean, great to have you here. Before we get into our building plan, and John, start getting those notes prepared on what you're going to do to change the course of history for the Lakers. Magic Man, I want to hear your thoughts on the playoffs so far. Again, Halliburton, he has no fear. I know that Nick T and some others have been like tooting the horn for Halliburton over Luka. You know what? Okay. I will say this: Halliburton's playing extremely well. I don't want to make any comparisons between him and Luka because, again, that's apples and oranges to me as far as that's concerned. They both have different styles. They both need to have the right players around them. Indiana is playing deep. They're playing hard. They're playing fast, and they're playing. And New York is playing right into the hands of Indiana. Can New York recover in Game 2, and can we see a series out of this one, because we may not be seeing it out in the West?
I believe they will, Gerald. I'm a huge Jalen Brunson fan, and I don't think that locker room will be shell shocked. I'm sure it was a shock when that shot went in. As you said, it was like the Keystone Cops with that music in the background, watching Halliburton make that shot. But heck, what did Branch Rickey used to say when he ran the Brooklyn Dodgers? Luck is a residue of design. It just means that uh, Kobe used to say it's not luck, it's me being in the gym for hours and hours and the game rewarding me for such, right?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what happened with Reese here. And Gerald, I got to be honest, and maybe a lot of people will disagree with me, but I think he took it really personally when most of the NBA called him overrated. And I think that's just put a huge chip on his
I
shoulder to prove
Now I just want to
everybody
say
in the.
this. They, I mean, he was voted the most overrated player in the league, but I don't know how many. I mean, I heard on a show that the rumor is that only a certain amount of players voted, and only 8 of them voted him the most overrated player out of what, maybe out of sample, maybe 50, 60, players, something like that. It didn't seem like they got the word of every single player in the league on this, or the ones that would just maybe go on record to go vote on it. And if that's the case, it's a small amount, but obviously we blew it up into such a big thing about him being voted the most overrated player in the league.
Yeah, true that. But I'll also say this though. I'll defend his reputation. He doesn't come off as cocky. The Pacers don't remind me at all of a team like the Memphis Grizzlies, Gerald, who are front runners. They'll be up 20, 25 points and running up another 10, 15, be all in your face and ready to go. And then the playoffs roll around and then they're down by 15 or 20 and you roll a 30 or 50-point spot like OKC did this year, and they shut the hell up like a bunch of babies still sucking on the Similac. But I don't get that from the Pacers. This is a mature group. Gerald, I really like Benedict Mathurin. If there is somehow a way for the Lakers to try and acquire Benedict Mathurin as your perimeter defender that you're building your defense around, I would sign up right away. We also like Ben Shepherd, Gerald. I mean, it's an embarrassment of riches the Pacers have, similarly to what OKC has, in that either Coach Dagnall or Rick Carlisle could throw just about any kind of 5-man alignment that they want in order to take advantage of what's going on. And I will say this, Joe, for some reason, Pascal Siakam is a really bad matchup for the Knicks right now. I'm not sure what tricks Tibbs has up his sleeve, or if you could see anything on film or backtrack to what worked against Siakam last year when the Celtics played him, but he is a problem for them. And when we look in the West, Gerald, if I'm not mistaken, Jalen Williams was a first team All NBA defender this year, Gerald.
I believe he was, yeah.
Yeah.
So that means that if he makes another All-Star team, Gerald, or if he makes another All defensive team or All NBA team, that's another player that the OKC Thunder have to potentially wonder whether we're going to max them out or not, because he would be worthy of a max contract. So I think OKC has a window here, Gerald, with this young group. I think it's about another 2 or 3 years, Gerald, before a couple of them, I think, get rich offer sheets in free agency, or Presti decides he's got to move off them. Well, the timing is right. So the time to strike for OKC is now, Gerald. I think that young group understands the urgency. And my God, you want to talk about an embarrassment of riches? This team is like a boa constrictor. They slowly just squeeze the life out of you as a basketball team. The score at halftime was 54-50. If you were Minnesota, you got to feel pretty good. Okay, we're only down 4, but then the third quarter hit them like a ton of bricks, Gerald, and it was just like a boa constrictor squeezing the life out of a wildebeest. And that's just what OKC could do. I mean, you want to talk about, yeah, we'll put Alex Caruso and Anthony Edwards. Oh, he picked up a couple quick fouls. That's okay. I'll put Lou Dort on him.
Or Keyshawn Wallace.
Yeah, or I could put Jalen Williams is fresh off the bench. Yeah, let's put him on. Let's put him on a tired Anthony
Arkansas's
Edwards.
Jalen Williams,
Yes,
or Kendrick Williams. Kendrick Williams.
And if you blow by one of those two guys, you're gonna have to go body to body with Isaiah Hartenstein, or get over the 7-foot arms of Chet Holmgren. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, so like that's kind of what they remind me of now, Cheryl. I just call them the boa constrictor squad because it just feels that they just can suffocate you defensively. And hats off to Mark Dagnall, Gerald. You know, we a couple of years ago there was kind of like a toss up, like, is it Will Hardy or Mark Dagnall? Which young guy would break through? And so obviously it's Mark who's broken through, and I think he's in prime position now to get OKC to their second final as a franchise.
Once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. It is John Costa and Magic Man Sean Grice, along with me, Joe Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening. Sean, if some of those guys like Jalen Williams getting the max, or Holmgren getting the max, or anyone else getting some big contracts from other don't feel too bad for them, because I think they have still 30 draft picks in the next 7 to 10 years. Yeah, so I don't feel too bad for OKC. Yeah, that window, though, is now open for them. But they, even if that's the case, as Frank said, offensively, they are challenged at times. We saw them shoot poorly today, and if they're not getting those turnovers, they are a very beatable team. The Lakers and his Mavericks, Frank's Mavericks, both during the regular season proved that. But which leads me to what I wanted to talk to you about, the guys, today, and that is, okay, last week we said to our audience, okay, you tell us the kind of moves that you want to go ahead and make on this roster going forward. Now it's our turn. I'm still waiting for Joe Sorrell to come on, but I'm going to have John and Sean share their thoughts. If they were running the organization, what would they think they would want to do? Plus, hopefully, I'll be able to put in my 2 cents as well. But with OKC, I said this, I've been saying this the past couple of days. I still think that this time for the NBA is wide open, with Tatum getting hurt, with other injuries around the league, Kyrie's injury as well. Sorry, Frank. There are openings for any team in this league to go ahead and take advantage of it. The 7 teams that have won championships in 7 years, I think, dictates that, but also the fact that, again, I don't think OKC, for all the talent it has and all the draft picks it's got coming in, all the things they can do with it, I still do not see them as an overwhelmingly undefeatable team. I see them winning this finals, but I don't see them, having a dynasty in order as far as I see them at a good level to a very good level to another 60+ win team here and there in the next couple of years. But I see them a lot like Cleveland, where 64 wins and they are susceptible to getting beat at some point in time during the playoffs, because the West is getting even tougher each and every time out. So with that said, I think there is a pathway for the Lakers to strike now, or to strike sooner rather than later, especially because the Tatum injury, I think, shift things in a different way, because it also tells Boston they might have to reevaluate things as well, guys. I don't like to quote him very much, but Tim Bontemps, the Lakers hater that's on the Hoop Collective, did say one thing about his beloved Celtics, because my gosh, that guy is just like drooling green every time he just goes ahead and speaks. But when he did say that a smart way to do it, which the other guys on the show kind of like balked at, but if you thought about it, doing the Stone Hansen teardown now and rebuilding so that by the time Tatum is healthy in 2 seasons or 3 seasons from now, when he's 29, 30, having a team ready then is something you may want to think about because they are so over the cap. And if that's said, I think they might be selling off some of their assets here this summer. A lot of teams that are right on the brink or over that second salary cap will also be selling it for over. They'll be selling out as well. And as Joe finally joins us there, oh my gosh, superstar Joe. There you go.
Oh, he came in here with some sunglasses.
There you go. Doing his best Rob Pelinka out in the sun French right there. So, John, I will bring it first to you, my friend. You're running the Lakers. What is the first move you'll make? Well, I'm going to go round the horn,
Mm-hmm.
In honor of ESPN show that's actually going to be shutting down as of tomorrow. What is your first move you would look at making if you were running the Lakers this offseason?
First move I'm looking at, I'm at least trying on making, is I am throwing a kitchen sink at the Bucks. I'm throwing a kitchen sink at the Bucks, and I am saying, whatever you want to make this work, let's make this work. The only people off the table are Luka Doncic. And anything else you want, let's do it. I would then, pitch to Giannis the life of LA, making the most amount of money off the court and potentially cementing yourself in NBA history by coming to the Lakers, winning a championship on the Lakers, playing next to a generational superstar in Luka Doncic. And I mean, Giannis can provide us everything that the Lakers wants, right? They want that big man that can protect the rim. Well, Giannis can do that. They want a pick and roll partner for Luka. Well, Giannis can do that. Giannis can absolutely pick and roll. He could pick and pop. He's honestly even a great decision maker out of the short roll. Like, I'd way rather have Giannis making decisions out of the short roll than a lot of other players around the league. So that's the first thing I'm doing. And I understand that is a stretch. But I have to say that because, a lot of people that hate the Lakers are like, oh no, like that's impossible. It's never going to happen. But it's a lot more possible than people, I think, really realize, because similar to the Anthony Davis situation, like if Giannis makes up in his mind, I'm going to the Lakers, that's it. Like that's it. If we can sell him on what we, the life of LA, making the most amount of money off the court, everything that I just mentioned. If we can sell him on that, and he's like, LA's where I want to be, the Bucks at that point kind of got to do right by him, because if they don't do right by him as an organization, they're going to look insane for years to come. So that's one thing I'll say is, at least you consider trying to throw a kitchen sink at Giannis. But let's say,
but let's say Giannis says, what I have on my list of places I want to go, it's a list of 2-3 teams, and let's say the Lakers are on that list. So you're making the call to the GM of Milwaukee. What are you offering? Give me something concrete. And use those assets, and let's say it gets you Giannis. What are you using to get Giannis in a fair trade with, or I get not a fair trade, but a fair enough trade? Because there are better trades out there for Giannis. But if Giannis says, I really want to go to the Lakers, what trade do you think will work for Milwaukee? So if they had to go ahead and get rid of him now?
So I'm saying this on the basketball's perspective. Like I'm not staring at all the numbers and all in front of me, but for sure AR's got to go. I mean, that's our most valuable asset besides, LeBron and Luka. It'd be sick if LeBron went, but that's just not going to happen. That's out of the picture. So like we can say that, but it's not going to happen, right? So AR would be out the window. Rui would likely be out the window. Potentially even Connect would be out the window. And then I know we have the pick swaps for 26, 28, and 30, and I believe 32 as well. So, I mean, in my opinion,
do those 5 pick swaps. You just do those 5 pick swaps.
You do those 5 pick swaps, and you give them the I think the only valuable players here that we can give of some value here would be AR, Rui, and Connect. The only thing is, like, the reason why I say I'm not looking at the numbers, because numbers need to line up. And then as far as also like roster wise, like they have to have a certain amount of roster.
Well, you could throw another expiring contract in that mix, or 2 if you want, in Gabe Vincent and or Maxi Kleber as well, to sweeten the deal, because those expiring deals, those 2 with Gabe and Maxi are about 22, 23 coming off your books as well in the summer of 26.
Yeah. Essentially, I say that to say, throw the kitchen sink at the Bucks, and definitely AR, Rui connect, and then those pick swaps, and you at least see if they bite for it. I work in sales, and the number one thing I've learned in my life is, closed mouths don't get fed, and you don't know it until
Ask
you
for the
do it.
sale.
You don't know it until you go and do it and try it. So that's I'll say for that, and then I'll let Sean and Joe go real quick. I just wanted to say, I seen somebody in the chat say, like, why would Giannis want to come to the Lakers? It's LA, it's California. Are you insane? Like, do you understand the amount of money this guy will make? The most amount of money he's ever made in his life off the court. This guy will, like, his legacy will go from here to there. Like, can you imagine you win a championship and Lakers? I mean,
But don't make us slander Milwaukee, please.
Come on, man.
It seems like a nice place, but please don't make us slander.
He loves that community. I mean, he's been a great part of that community for years. But yes,
Gerald, have you ever heard anybody say, "Yeah, let's go to Milwaukee on vacation"?
Unless they're into Laverne and Shirley, no, not really.
Yeah,
but
can't even see the Field of Dreams baseball time in there, right? Where is that, Joe? Is that in Iowa?
I think that's in Iowa.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a couple states over, but still, blink and you'll miss the Midwest of the. Are you kidding me? Nobody would pick Milwaukee over LA, my friend. Whoever you are out there.
Come on.
Well, again, state taxes, Frank. I understand.
Gerald, this person has obviously suffered a recent blow to the head. They're not thinking clearly.
Straight up.
So JSJ talked about during the game that we watched that he thinks Rob would go star hunting. So you, right off the bat, with your first move, you're going to go star hunting.
I am absolutely going star hunting for a player that. This is not like Bradley, not like what the Suns did with Bradley Beal. They went star hunting for a player that didn't even fit their team. This is star hunting for exactly. Thank you. Right. So we're going star hunting for a player that fits our team. So hey, man, come on, man. But I want to hear what Sean and my boy Joe.
All right. Oh yeah, we got to start it, but keep taking some ideas on what you would do as far as after you got what.
I got some. I got some more.
Okay. And remember, you've got whatever you gave up in for Giannis, you cannot use in another move.
Okay. All right. So you really doing this, Gerald?
Yes,
okay,
I'm really doing this. Okay, so keep track of what you just gave up for Giannis.
All right,
and then utilize that. So
next Gerald, up, you can go to Joe the Hitman Soro next.
Okay, I will go Joe.
I want to make it clear that I did not give up my unprotected 31 first round pick. I only gave up AR, Rui, Connect, and then the pick swaps, which is 26.
Well, we'll look at the money. We'll look and see how the money works when we come back to you on it. Just remind me if you can.
All right.
Because I got the trade machine up on another tab.
Oh, okay. I got you. All right.
Joe looks like Snake Plissken's.
Joe looks like an actor in a movie.
He looks like Snake Plissken's deranged brother.
Also here today, good man indeed. It is the guy who looks like he's about to pull someone over and give them a ticket. It is, of course, behind Joe Soro Experiment, the Joe Soro channel. Of course, his game Corrupt on Steam, and of course, Symblaze.com. JY will probably try to answer that a little bit later on your question. I'll try to go ahead and bring it up. It is Joe Soro. Joe, you are running the Los Angeles Lakers. What is the first move you do? And I think I know where it starts.
Oh, I know where this guy's move is.
Do we have too much of the tipsy at? You looked good last night after the game. What's it? The little bloodshot eyes?
No, my eyes are fine.
Okay.
I wear my sunglasses
at
night.
No, Stallone and Cobra. That's it. That's S1. You got it. S1.
I don't deal with psychos. I put them away.
That movie was so 1980s.
It so was.
It would have been better. It was too early. It was too violent for that time. A lot of the same reasons.
No, they tried to talk. That's why.
A lot of reasons why Scarface was a bomb at the box office was because it was too violent. If Cobra had been filmed 20 years later, it would have been a success. It's one of my favorite movies of the 80s, definitely.
Love that car in the movie.
Yeah.
Mm.
Go ahead, my friend.
Well, first move you got to make is you got to commit to Luka Doncic. And in order to commit to Luka Doncic, you got to let them know that this is going to be about forming a team that's going to be conducive to his skill set. That starts with LeBron, making sure LeBron is only going to be playing under contract for another year. And they have to get a center with the current roster. Have to get a center.
But what's the first move you're going to make? Because we'll go around.
I'm going to go get Kessler out of Utah, see if I can get him, use a third team or maybe a fourth team to go get Kessler without having to ship Danny Ainge half your draft picks from the next decade. That would be my first move.
Because it would just be swaps. You only have one first rounder you could throw at them.
Whatever they can throw, whatever they can do to make it work, make it work. The reason why I chose that one is because Kessler doesn't make a lot of money, which means the Lakers can maintain their depth. I know everybody's all into their feelings about Austin Reeves coming up lame again, but Rui did come up well in this series, and he wasn't doing too well the last two series. So I'm going to give Austin Reeves another year here to see if he can mend this issue. But more important than that is this is about depth. The reason why Oklahoma City is whooping everybody's ass right now is because they're actually one of the few teams that has depth. Same thing with Indiana. Now, Indiana should have lost this game. And I still say this series is going to go 7. And Indiana could win in New York in 7. But New York could win in 7 at home as well. So I'm looking forward to watching a 7-game series between those two teams. And it will likely be, unless there's a major injury, one of the best series we've seen in a while. The Lakers need to get as many players as they can that are formidable, that isn't going to affect their depth for this year, especially this year, because you're going to have too much money tied into LeBron. You have a lot of money tied into Luka. You're going to need those guys that are going to be able to, you're going to be able to plug in and serve a huge purpose and be able to make one last run with LeBron James on the team.
All right, so your first move is to go out and get a center. It is Walker Kessler. And also here today, again, like I said, we're back to Magic Man, Sean Grice. So, Sean, you are now running the Los Angeles Lakers. What is the first move you are going to make?
Joe, what are you giving up, though?
What are you giving up?
Kessler?
Oh, yeah, what are you giving up? What are you giving up for Kessler?
Well, there's not much to give up. He's only making $3 million and change.
All right, that's fine. I mean, whatever you give up, it's fine. I just want to know so we can.
Would it be for Connect?
It would no. I'd want to keep Connect
because their salaries are around the same.
I would try to put together enough draft capital to get him, and whatever filler you can get, whatever third team can throw another draft pick at him, and they can send somebody from Utah there. Okay. If somebody wants something from the Lakers, I try to stay away from Connect, but maybe some expiring contracts with the other team, and maybe we pick up one of their kind of maybe not so good players, but it doesn't matter because we're trying to get that starting center and not give up the depth.
So let me see what I can do to help you on that right now. So let's go ahead. You want Kessler, so I'm going to get Kessler on here. I'm doing this on NBA Trade Machine based off of this year's number, which all change after July the 1st. But Walker Kessler, who only makes about $3 million right now on a rookie contract. You're saying you're probably going to throw the numbers in there for an expiring. So let's say they throw. Let's go Gabe Vincent. Gabe Vincent at 11. Gabe Vincent at 11, and you're going to throw them a couple swaps as well in the mix. Is that something you would do for him, Joe?
I'd rather put. I mean, does somebody really need Gabe Vincent?
Okay, then let's just say Kleber.
So right Kleber would be more. You want to, in case you can't get a guard, you're going to have to at least use Vincent in some capacity. Mm-hmm. Try to send out Kleber, but you're probably going to get back a longer contract so that you can justify why they're going to be sending anybody or anything to Utah.
Probably okay.
Yeah.
So you don't
it's
think
not it's a very unlikely trade based off of that,
Mhm.
but it would be maybe a favor. It maybe would be, hey, think about me later type stuff. Or someone really wants to drop a contract, or Danny Ainge really is going to, let's say the Lakers give him however many swaps, a first round pick, and then he gets another first round pick.
would you bundle, let's say, Clarkson in with Kessler?
I take Clarkson if that could work. Yeah, I wouldn't mind
Okay,
sending.
so that's about 17.
Would he want to do that though?
Mhm.
Why would they send Clarkson? He's an expiring contract as well.
Just trying to make it work with whatever money involved, but yeah, it would have to be tricky to get
The Lakers
Kessler
need to see how they can fill up the roster. What they really need is they need two legitimate starters in the starting lineup. One at center and one either at the 2 guard or at the 3. Go ahead.
The problem with dealing with Utah is they want to unload 2 depreciating assets, Jordan Clarkson and John Collins. And I would not deal with either one of them, no matter if I'm getting Walker Kessler back, because that stalls what I'm trying to do this year and next year. So Gerald, we all, from the time I saw the great Robert Horry throw a towel in Danny Ainge's face, I knew it from that day forward that guy was just a sneaky, you-know-what, Gerald. Say one thing to your face and then behind your back. This is what happens. Yeah, Rob calls up Danny Ainge, offers something. So what does Danny do, Gerald? He's got auto dial ready on the other phone, calling another team, telling, yeah, the Lakers are offering me this. Can you up the offer? Let's screw with it. This is a game. I would not want to play with Utah this summer.
Okay.
And my
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say, let's just say he's, I know Alan says is panicking on the chat. Said, oh, after what happened, he didn't know about the Luka trade that was going down. He's gonna fleece this. And all that. But I'm just gonna say that. Let's just say, Sean, that Joe gets a good positive call from Danny Ainge and that they are able to work something out. Joe, would you do something like, for instance, Clarkson, and we'll go back to Clarkson and Kessler for Kleber and Vincent and some swaps?
Yes, but I don't think they would do that.
You don't think? Okay. Well, let's just say they do. Let's just say
if Clarkson had another 2 years on his contract. They want to get rid of it. Yeah, but he's an expiring contract.
Yes, he is.
Danny Ainge wants draft capital in these cases. That's likely what he's going to want.
Would you give him a first rounder and maybe a swap?
If you feel like Kessler's going to be the next center of the next 5 to 6 years, sure.
Okay. Well, let's just say
if he's a dud, then you're probably not in a good position.
See, Gerald, you know what Utah is? They're a nice steak, but there's no sizzle there. They have a lot of nice pieces, but there's no superstar there to take them to the next level.
They're going to have to get rid of Markin. That
good luck
extension they signed him is
one of the worst contracts in the NBA in my view.
Yeah. So let's just say Joe makes the trade. He gets Danny to commit. So he's given up for Kessler and Clarkson. He's given back Maxey. So keep an eye. Remember this, Joe. Maxey, Gabe Vincent. Let's say one swap and one first rounder. So you have less on your plate as far as that's concerned. That's what you just gave up. So that is your first move, is to go get Kessler and Clarkson. Now your bench hopefully is actually been upgraded as well. Magic Man, you're running the Lakers. So what is your first move running the Los Angeles Lakers?
Okay. Well, as unsexy as this sounds, I'm looking to trade Gabe Vincent. So I need to supplant the guard position. So what assets do we have, Gerald? Well, we have the taxpayer mid-level, which is 5.7 million.
As of now, it can be adjusted based on
Um,
certain financial things you do.
yes. So in that case, the two guys at the top of the list who I'd offer contracts to are Ty Jerome and Trey Jones to be my either backup or starting point guard. Ty Jerome, 6'5", Gerald. He was a sixth man of the year candidate. He's taken the road less traveled to get where he is, but he is going to be in for a huge payday. I'm not sure how much. And when I'm looking at the teams that do have the whole non-taxpayer mid-level, or teams that do have cap space, Ty Jerome really doesn't fit into their plans. They're either a young team coming up, or they're either a vet team that doesn't have the maneuverability to grab somebody like him, or Trey Jones. I would take any one of the Jones brothers, but Trey is a free agent. He was really good for the Chicago Bulls, Gerald. I really like either one of those guys. You're able to plug them in. Either one can play with Luka or LeBron as an off guard or on the ball, depending on what you need. Plus, I love Jerome's height. He's 6'5". He's lanky. He moves really well. It's a fluid game with him. He's got a really nice touch as far as balancing being a facilitator and being a shooter, especially when he had to play with Garland and Spida in some of those matchups. So I look at either one of those guys as a key acquisition in free agency.
Well, there you go. Absolutely.
I love the Ty Jerome love, Sean. I love the Ty Jerome love. I feel like that's somebody that people always talk about. You know, Trey and Tyus Jones is like being like great backup point guards, and they absolutely are. But I think Ty Jerome is a big like slept on backup point guard, and like how you said, like being 6'5", like and him running your point guard, like you are probably gonna have a really big lineup, and when you have those like 6'5", 6'6" guards, like. That changes your game, you know. It changes everything, because then you can start operating out the post with as a guard. You can start posting up smaller guards. That's when the game changed, because they can't double you if you're out the post.
I will say this though, his value was skyrocketing in the regular season, but in the postseason, he has done I don't know, probably worse than Austin Reeves as far as his value. So Magic, you might be able to. I don't know if you can get him for the 5.6. Tyus Jones, you may be able to get for the minimum. To be quite honest with you, in a market, you guys got to remember as well.
Well, Tyus, yeah, I'm talking about Trey though.
Oh, Trey. Okay. Well, Ty or Trey.
Either one, yeah.
You may be able to get either Jones with the minimum, because you guys got to remember something, that Brooklyn is the only team with cap space this offseason. So a lot of those free agents may not be able to sign anything above a minimum contract and just do like the Lakers, what they did 2 years ago, and do the one-on-ones. So you might be signing, or you might be getting, if you're smart, you might be getting some good players for that minimum on a one-on-one if you're smart on what to go for.
What happened, Alan? What are you saying? How for what? Ty Jerome? I don't know. Yeah. Let me know.
Yeah, again, I don't think he's gonna sign for that low, because I think he did so well in the offseason. But if you can get him for 5.6, that's obviously, it would be a great get. So that's Sean's first move, is tying up the $5.6 million mid-level exception. I'm gonna be like John. And go star hunting. But we mentioned it the other day, and I'm going to go high risk, high reward. And I'm going to go the theme of the other day, and I'm going to go Zion Williamson.
Wow.
I have got a trade in mind, and so my assets probably will be depleted quite heavily, but Rui, Austin, Gabe, and Maxey makes less than $1 million away from Zion, Herb Jones, and Yves Missy. And now Yves Missy could be available because the New Orleans Hornets are probably going to be drafting big in this draft where they're at. There's a lot of leanings towards that. So if that's the case, Yves Missy might be available. Herb Jones, one of the best defensive players that I guess a lot of people covet out there. So his shooting comes and goes, but his defense is something that sticks with. So that's where I would lean. I would throw a couple of the pick swaps, maybe for Zion. Let's throw in 3 pick swaps. I'm going to hold on to my first and hold on 2 of the pick swaps. And there you go. And
so you gave up 3 pick swaps, Rui and who?
Rui, Austin, also as well, the 2 expirings.
Okay. Sounds good.
Gabe and
okay.
Max.
So I think that's cool. I like that. But let me ask you this, Gerald.
High risk,
high risk, extremely high. So
that's like, oh wow, look way up there. It's a high risk.
It's an extremely high risk, right? But so this is what I was going to ask you, right? So I understand that it's a high risk, but to me, it's like on any other team except the Lakers, like it's a high risk. On the Lakers, it's like ultra extra super high risk because the Lakers are already under a microscope with or without Zion. Adding Zion to that picture is just going to put us even more under the microscope. And honestly, I mean, I know this is like deeper than the game of basketball. I don't know if he's ready for that. Like, I really don't know if he's ready for all
we're sure as hell going to find out, aren't we? If we do that trade.
You're on mute, Sean.
Go ahead, Sean.
Oh yeah, that situation is a lot like seeing that acupuncture flyer on your car. And you can't find any Google reviews or anything for the guy, and you show up at the house, and you go all the way. You have to go. Yeah, it's all the way in the back. You have to go to the back, and it's a basement apartment.
Yeah. But you not only have a young dynamic player, you've got a young dynamic center that might be more than just. Who knows? He's just a rookie and actually made the second team all rookie team. So he might actually be worth something as far as a big man, as a roll man, as a lob threat. So there you go. Herb Jones as a perimeter defender. He's one of the top perimeter defenders in the league. So
now I like all that. I like the package. Don't get me wrong. I love the package. My only thing is exactly what like Osmosis Jones. I think that's what his name is. But
no, Yves Missy. Yves Missy would play center. He's a 7-footer.
Yeah.
You're getting a 7-footer in the deal. You don't need to play Zion at center. Although,
by the way, made all the
offense through Zion because point Zion has been effective at times.
Okay, so here's my question then. So that's what I was gonna say. So I just don't know about that Luka and Zion fit because I agree. Point Zion is legit, but if you're having point Zion kind of be point Zion, that means you're taking the ball out of Luka's hands. And
no, when Luka's on the bench, Luka's the idea is to evolve away from LeBron James.
JSJ said, I thought Gerald's first move was getting back Zubac. That's hilarious.
Zubac is untouchable on the Clippers right now.
But regardless, though, I mean, I like your trade, Gerald. I just, like I said, I would have a little bit of concerns mentally about Zion if he's ready for that.
Oh, I have big concerns about it. I'm gambling here. I'm in Vegas.
You're in Vegas. That is damn right. It's a good trade choice for you to choose. You being in Vegas, but yeah, I mean, definitely a gamble with that. And then the fit, I don't know how that necessarily would work. But hey, I love the move though. I love to hear it.
All right. Once again, it is the Lakers fast break. Our second move now comes into play. John, I want to hear your thoughts on your second move. Do you remember what assets you gave up?
Yep, I gave up AR, Rui, Connect, which is crazy. I have damn near nothing. And then the pick swaps, to be honest. I have damn near nothing. Honestly, I honestly swung for the fences here. Good thing.
So did I. I
swung for the fences very, very early. But I say that to say, I mean, if they say yes, like, yeah, we just gave up all those pieces, but now we have Giannis. So that changes a lot. So I guess let's go from the perspective of, all right, now we have Giannis. And we would now need what exactly Sean went after, which is a point guard, like more of like a backup point guard role. Would love to go get a Tyus, like how Sean was talking about on the minimum. As I mentioned, I think I would rather Ty Jerome over Tyus and Trey, to be honest with you. But because of his performance here in the regular season, I don't know, how
might still get around 10.
Yeah,
might still get around Austin Reeves money. I'm thinking
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what he's gonna
and
probably get.
and if we start giving him that much money, then I don't want it, because then it's gonna turn into one of those like Gabe Vincent situations where it's like, oh man, like you were hella good over here, and now we gave you hella money, and now now you're not really playing the value of your contract, because like people gotta realize like what you're getting paid a lot of the times, like that's how people look at you. So like when someone's balling out and they're on like a smaller contract, they're like, oh wow, I love this player. This player is the best. This player is so team friendly. And then as soon as the player goes, gets paid elsewhere, like people were talking about Max Strus, like that guy was like the next coming of Jesus when he was on the Miami Heat. People forgot about Max Strus after he got paid on the Cavs, to be honest with you. So I say all that to say, if Ty is going for 10, I'm good. I mean, if Ty Jones going for 10, I'm good. I'd rather try to go get me a Tyus or a Trey for that minimum. So that's where I'd be here. There, my
so
second.
Pick one, my friend. Pick one.
Okay, all right, got
Pick
you.
one. Do you use
go
the
with Tyus.
MLE or the minimum?
I'm
Tyus.
going with Tyus, yeah.
And I think you can get him for the minimum. So
For the
let's
minimum.
go with that.
I'm going with
There you
Tyus
go.
for the minimum.
Joe, you're next, my friend. What do you have? You've been hopefully evaluating all your talent moves. Actually, I thought your first move was a really good one, going for Kessler. I really like that deal, but I didn't want to go ahead and tread on the same water that you did, so that's where I veered off and went my route. You've got Kessler and Clarkson. Where do you go to next, my friend?
That's solved. Now you can sort of go big game hunting. Now you still have your Ruiz and your Austin Reeves, but your draft assets are now depleted. It's not likely. So it would have to be someone. It would have to be someone in a sign and trade again, but would be more for talent versus assets. I don't know if that's possible.
So who are you thinking, though? Let's say people are not giving everything, but are receptive to your offers. Let's say you sweet talk them, as only Joe Sorrell can.
Jeez. I'm trying to think here. Who? I mean, realistic wise, would it be a Gary Trent Jr.?
Kuminga's going to go for like 20 to 25 million. That's what he's going to ask for, JSJ, I think. I think Brooklyn is the only team that's really going to be able to have money for him in the offseason.
KD.
No room for KD.
No, somebody said KD. That's so funny.
There's always room for KD.
So you can always make room for KD.
Yeah, the perimeter players likely would have to be something.
Facts, Alan.
Maybe go get some guy. Maybe call Brooklyn to see what they want. With Brooklyn has worked with the Lakers before, and they have a pretty good relationship. Would they?
They have 4 first-round picks, just to give you a heads up.
Yeah, they're stacked there. So would there be a Cam Thomas interest? What would they want for Cam Thomas? I'd say that one would be one to look at.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, it's shot checker.
I don't know really, other than that type of player that would be available with what they have to give out. That wouldn't be an insult.
Okay. Let me see what, because he's a restricted free agent, I believe. Cam Thomas is. So the Lakers.
I don't believe he is. Is he? No, wait. Is he? Oh, he's got a qualifying offer. Yeah.
That's if they want to.
Which is just not. It's just not. It's very difficult to gauge. Honestly, I don't have. I've looked at the lists. Who are the regulars that would work based off the talent too? It's very difficult. They're not going to do any business with Charlotte after what happened. Would Atlanta be something that could make sense? But I don't see too many perimeter guys that be available. Would Dyson Daniels be an option?
It's a tough one, man. I mean, value skyrocket after
yeah,
this.
It's the two names that popped up in my head, but even then, I'm still not understanding how it could get done. Is Cam Thomas out of Brooklyn and then Dyson Daniels out of Atlanta? Guys that have shown some things and still have a lot of room to improve.
I hear a lot of people talking about Gary Trent Jr. I think Gary Trent Jr. would be solid, but though my only problem with Gary Trent Jr. is just don't feel like he would feel as much as that backup point guard role that we kind of need. He's more of a two guard. He's more of a catch and shoot type guy. I'm already in my spot now. I'm getting to it. Not as much as playmaking for others, which is the only reason why I'd end up going with like a Tyus over a Gary Trent Jr. But yeah, no, he definitely is. He definitely is cheap. And then Osmosis.
The thing is, though, they thought when he would sign with Milwaukee for the minimum that he was the big steal out of anybody, and it didn't turn out that way at all.
But honestly, I can't blame just him though. Like that whole Milwaukee team ended up being like a messy breakdown, to be honest with you. But Osmosis Jones said a very good point that I agree with. And Joe, I love your Cam pick, but my only problem with Cam is like Cam is a shot chucker. Like he gets them boys up, and which is great and all, but I need you to understand who you're playing next to here at times. And I think he's like one of those guys that has irrational confidence, which is good as a basketball player. But when you're playing next to Luka Doncic, and preferably, if we get any of these guys, we're saying, understand that that irrational confidence is going to have to calm down a little bit, boy.
All right, so went from Joe on that one. So your second move is, let's go say, going after a Cam Thomas on that, and being able to go ahead and acquire him on that. Great scorer, could be someone that could really be it. I mean, Austin is a 20-point scorer, but Cam, I think, takes it to a different level scoring-wise. The question is, can he give you what you need on the defensive end? That, I think, is the big key there. But he'll probably come maybe even less expensive than Austin, even on his really thrifty contract there. But again, with Reeves, he is going to be most likely a free agent because he's going to turn down whatever extension that you offer him in the summer. And he is going to be a free agent most likely in the summer of 26. So people, please keep that in mind when concerning Austin Reeves. Sean, we come back to you, my friend. You've struck gold, per se, on your first move. Who do you go to next as far as your second move? Where do you go to next? Because you and Joe have not given up a lot of your assets. John and I have. So we've gone to, I like this, the fact that we've gone different routes in the way of building this team. John and I went star hunting. You guys have done things a little bit differently.
Yeah, we're going back to Walmart now, Gerald. So
I'd like to say I'm really going to Target. Walmart is not good. Walmart is what we've had.
I could have said Value Village.
Walmart is what we've had. Guys
Why,
like
Joe?
Gabe Vincent and Kleber and these guys. The ones I mentioned were more Target.
Well, sometimes you find deals in those places.
No, that's true. With Walmart, I'll go to Walmart maybe once, twice a year.
I found a great car vacuum in Walmart that was great.
But it's been actually a while. I haven't been to Walmart, I think, in over a year, which is good because I prefer not to ever go there.
That means you're in a higher tax bracket, Joe. That's what that means.
No, it just means I don't want. It just means I don't want what they sell, which smells like rubber death.
He's right though. There is a waft as soon as you walk into Walmart.
It smells like cheap labor.
He's right. Oh, God. All right, before we head completely off the rails here, so yeah, back to discount jewelry, Gerald. So cash for gold here. We're gonna go with some shooting because ultimately, I'm thinking 4 or 5 moves down the road, Gerald. I'm gonna have to give up Rui Hachimura. Riashamur shot over 40% from wide open threes in the last 200 games he's been a Laker, which is very impressive and would be a very impressive sweetener in order for a team. So you need to replace that. I'm going to sign Luke Kennard or Sam Merrill.
Oh, I like that. I like that. I
Mm,
like that. Straight
Shooting.
shooters.
You just surround Luka and Brown with shooting, Gerald. I think Sam Merrill and Luke Kennard would fit the bill. Either one of those guys can hit the open shot.
Okay. All right. That's a very interesting thing. So you still have a lot of your assets on hand. So
And
there you
Luka,
go.
and are those free agents this offseason or what?
Yeah, they're both free agents.
Wow. I might have to steal your pick here, Sean. I like that. I like that Sam Merrill pick. He's literally in the NBA just to shoot.
Mine next move is actually going to deal with the draft. The Lakers. If we don't make any type of moves for one of the Brooklyn's 4 picks and move up to get someone like Maxine Renaud, who a lot of draft experts, including Rafael Barlow, who we know so well, Sean, really got a man crush on Maxine Renaud. He has looked really good in the combines, came out really strong on his measurables. Let's say we can't do that. Let's say we've got nothing really, because what I have left, I don't have much in the way of to offer to Brooklyn unless they really want something that I have. So let's say I can't get it done. I have the 55 pick. There should be still up to 6, maybe 7 big guys that might be available during that second round. That guy's 6'10" and over. So I'm going to go with what Tankathon has for right now for a mock draft for the Lakers. So let's go with Vladislav Golden, 7'1", 250-pound, big guy, can both score and rebound on the block. He is someone that he comes out of Michigan, so he has played high-level ball. If you can get a little bit, if Nita Harser out of Penn State, who is a very athletic 7-footer, I might lean to him a little bit more, but if not, Golden's a big body. And then make sure I target Amari Williams if he drops out of the second round, a 7-footer, 260-pound center out of Kentucky. Both these guys that you get were legit 7-footers. Both are good to very good rebounding centers. So if one doesn't work out, the other one just might. So you have lob threats, and you also have as well rebounding, which is something the Lakers sorely need. So that's what I'm focused on as far as getting big guys in the draft. Not young guys, because they're both around 23, 24. So they are who they are. A lot like Dalton, just coming out of the draft, they are who they are. But still, big guys and beef. If you guys want big guys and beef, one way to do it this year's draft has quite a few of them.
Big guys and beef. That's just funny. Gerald,
you're next, my friend. Go ahead.
I'm actually stealing Sean's idea about adding some shooting here with that Luke Kennard pickup, only because I was gonna go Sam Merrill, but the only reason I went Luke Kennard is I feel like.
So what are you signing him with? Are you signing him on a minimum, or are you signing him on a 5-6? Do you think he'll go for a minimum? Because I think you still have your MLE left.
I still have the MLE. I still have the MLE. We likely do use the MLE. The only reason why I was gonna go Luke Kennard over Sam Merrill is just because I feel like he could put the ball on the ground a little bit more and attack the hoop more than Sam Merrill can. But just like Osmosis said, Sam is younger, so he does more fit that timeline of being a team building around Luka. Because one thing that I feel like the Lakers always struggle with is like we never have a chance to ever build continuity. Like a team never has a chance to stay together year over year because we're always flip-flopping everything.
And you already have one 3-point shooter on the team who is susceptible on the defensive end in Dalton Connect. So if you want to grow him, you're probably not playing Luke Kennard and vice versa.
Absolutely. Well, I guess Dalton went on my first pick when I really swung for the fences. So,
Oh, so he went in your
he also, I really swung
Okay.
for the fences there, Gerald.
Okay, so
To get
So
Giannis,
yeah.
I was trying to secure that, but
no problem.
yeah. So I say that to say, yeah, I'd probably go with Luka Kennard there on that MLE, just because. Can you imagine a Luka Doncic, Giannis pick and roll? Giannis at the short roll hits Luka Kennard on that left wing. Come on, man, swing! I can swing the ball faster than you can run. I like that. And Luka Kennard, cash with that lefty jumper.
There you go. He's averaged. I think there's been at least 1 year where he averaged 50% from 3-point range. So,
and he was averaging 50% with Memphis too until they benched him.
Yep.
There you go. Well, the thing is, the defensive end, you've got to put defenders around him to keep him out there on the court. Joe, you're next with your third maneuver. Your third maneuver out there. So, what do you have? What do the glasses tell you about what third maneuver that you have?
SB.
Third maneuver in the draft.
Your third move overall. You've already made 2 moves. You and Sean have been like you always said, Walmart, Target, all that. A little bit frugal on the frugal side. John and I have been more upfront, kind of spending. So you still have a lot of assets to play with. What do you do next? Although it depends how much you gave up for Kessler.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably focus more on the draft at this point, and maybe gauge where Danny Wolf out of Michigan is slated to go.
Mm-hmm.
If
you still have some assets to give him,
if you're starting to get a feeling that he's going to go early second, maybe 40-ish, let's say, I would make some moves to see if he can climb up. Danny is a project. He reminds me a lot of Mo Wagner. Coincidentally, Mo Wagner went to Michigan, and he's got good team skills, rebounding, and he can score and
he can pass. Like
he could pass. The problem is he's a turnover machine, and when you're young in the NBA, that's going to go up even more when you're making bad decisions. But it's not going to be a direct, immediate. Likely not an immediate help, but I believe maybe in about 2 to 3 years, it could be right at that perfect moment where the Lakers are starting to really become contenders. And it'd be nice to have somebody like that who could pass, who could rebound, and work on his deficiencies in that time as well. And I really believe Luka would make him a better player as well. So that's where my thoughts are. I have no idea who is going to play for the MLE. I have racked my brain on this. I kept looking at available free agents. I have no idea who's going to take the $6+ million MLE with the Lakers. It's going to be probably late July, early August when that happens, likely. Whoever's available. I don't even know I wouldn't even know where to start.
When Sports Baby said, I can't stop laughing. I had to literally park the car when I saw Joe.
I want to know what Sports Baby said. John, where the duck been cunts? I have no idea what that means.
There. No more laughing now. Drive safe.
Oh, okay,
there
Joe.
You go. Sean, I believe you're next with your third maneuver. Again, Joe is playing it close to the vest. He's I admire him because he's, the temptation is there to go on a shopping spree, but he's got his center in Kessler.
Yeah,
he's got now a 6-man in Clarkson. He's looking towards the draft in Danny Wolf, so he may have a big guy. I don't know if you want to start him right away or what. That's the best case scenario. Is he's good enough to start?
Probably not.
Probably not. But you've got Kessler. You got Kessler. My bad. You got Kessler. So as a backup, maybe he could give you some minutes there. Sean, what is your next maneuver as far as your third move as running the Los Angeles Lakers?
Again, Gerald, I'm kind of going against the grain here. I'm going to wait until the end of the draft, and if either one of both of these players are available, I sign both of them to a standard NBA contract. One is Ryan Nembhard, the younger brother of Andrew Nembhard of the Indiana Pacers, and the other guy is Mark Sears from the Alabama Crimson Tide, who I absolutely love. Slightly different in profile. Nemhard is more a TJ McConnell, Scottie Pippen Jr. type, very scrappy, but able to run the floor as a general, just needs a little bit of time. Mark Sears is a Jameer Nelson clone, Gerald. A lot of people are overlooking this player. He's going to be a point getter in the NBA, and if I was the Lakers, I would sign either Sears or Nemhard after the draft.
Okay, there you go. All right, so you're looking for try to pick up some good undrafted talent, which has at times been very good, been very fortunate for the Lakers at times.
And look at Alexander Walker out of Minnesota.
Oh, hey, I'm not looking to steal Andrew's sports, baby. I want Ryan. Ryan's prime for the picking, man.
Come on, Ryan.
There you go. What did you say about Joe?
I was saying, have a look-see on Alexander Walker out of Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be looking for probably a double-digit.
Yeah, we can't afford him. I would love him, but
that was kind of the first one I thought of about the MLE, but then I said he's not going to take the MLE. But then who has? Only Brooklyn has money.
Yeah, only Brooklyn.
That's why we have to wait on that one, because those guys are going to wait to see how the market develops, and if he can't get the double-digit numbers, then maybe there's a shot.
So if there's a shot at getting some quality players with that 5.6 MLE, because like we said, the market is going to be kind of concerning for those free agents this summer because there's only one team with cap space. I'm hoping a younger player can drop back into Lakers' lap, and one of them may be someone that I was wrong about. But I'd first look at Quentin Grimes, who has had a really good, strong second half of the season in Philadelphia. But then again, it was on a team that was tanking, so you got to take that with a grain of salt. But he hasn't really had enough opportunities, although Frank could probably tell us more about his time in Dallas, about why he didn't get the proper, I guess, time, or did he deserve it? So we'll have to take a look at that. But I'm going to go ahead and gamble, because I'm going to go ahead and gamble the guy that, we've seen on that ABC game where he scored over 40 points and just lit it up. And he has the ability to do so. Plus, he has athletic ability and can defend on the perimeter if called upon. So maybe, if best case scenario, you get him on the 5.6, and then you could go ahead and put him right alongside Luka as your shooting guard, because I've traded away Austin. If that's the case, then, or if you can't get him, maybe looking back at Scottie Pippen Jr. As someone who may be able to. He's coming off a great series, great playoffs. If you can't get Quentin Grimes, I'd look at SPJ and righting the wrong that I personally said that SPJ was not an NBA player, and I've been proven wrong on that one. And he has certainly been a quality backup. And signing him for the 5.6 would be a pretty good deal. If he could give you the same kind of output he gave Memphis, yeah, that'd be a pretty good deal indeed.
So I see Best League here is talking about Kevin Porter Jr. for 5.6, which I think would be solid. But in my situation here, like, I've already now picked up, Tyus. I've already picked up Luke Kennard. We still gonna have Luka on the ball. Like, we're not trying to bring so many guards to it now. We're taking the ball out of Luka's hand. So what I would say is if you look around the league, and I actually seen this stat the other day. Wish I could find it. I mean, not wish, but it'd be cool if I could find it, because it was talking about how, like, most of the dominant teams in the league have that, like, twin tower, and, like, they know that too big lineup, right? I mean, the Pacers not really, but OKC's like that. The Celtics were like that. There's a lot of teams in the league, have those two big lineups. So I will be candidly with you guys. I do not watch college basketball. It just doesn't intrigue me much. So I cannot tell you much about all these college bigs. But you know what I would do in this situation? I'd make a special phone call to exclusive Lakers Fast Break member in Stone Hansen, and I would figure out who is a good big for us to go with here, because in my opinion, we got to put a big out there, another big out there, to have that Giannis and another big out there. So that's, I guess, I'd look to the draft with my. I believe this is the third move now. That we do.
Fourth move. You're on your fourth move.
Fourth move. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
So what is your fourth move?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you who's in that draft, a good solid big, but if you can tell me one, but my fourth move would be looking towards the draft though for a big.
Okay, so let's say you only have the 55, Sean. I already picked Golden. Let's just say Niederhauser from Penn State, Sean. I said he was very athletic, good measurables. He's someone that could fit between the power forward / center, but he can run. He's got movement. He's got agility. I think reminds a lot of people of Willie Cauley-Stein, if that's the case, but you don't have to pay the lottery pick to get him, John. Let's say we'll give him to you on that. Let's say he becomes available because he's according to Tankathon, I'm using their mock draft. Your mock draft be varied. It has him right in that area. So we'll go ahead and put him there for you. Would that be acceptable to you?
That would be acceptable.
All right. Who is next? Joe. Joe, who do you have? What's your fourth move? You and Sean still have a myriad of assets available. You've already focused on the draft. What are you looking to do now as far as your fourth move? We'll go 5 move, guys. Well, 5 moves as far as
The fourth move. I wasn't expecting a fourth or a fifth. I would say I'd re-sign Jackson Hayes.
Okay.
Bring him back. If you have a legitimate starting center, bring him back. I thought he played ahead of everything I thought he would play the last couple of years, and kind of got the raw end of the deal this last playoff series. I think it was worth giving him a shot, but for some reason JJ didn't. And I would do that, but I don't believe it's going to happen. I believe the Lakers are going to let him go, and they're going to go find some other backup center.
Okay.
That's probably the fourth move.
Well, John couldn't stay with us, so Sean, I believe we're now up to 4 for you. What is your fourth move? Coming off that.
Gerald, again, I'm gonna wait till June 30th to make a decision because Dorian Finney-Smith has a player option he can exercise on June 29th. If he exercises that, Gerald, he is now eligible to be traded again.
That's right.
And the number that you have now to trade in cap spaces goes up to about $57 million. So if Pelinka plays this smartly, you could potentially get 2 or 3 trades out of this bundle here, Gerald, and build some depth. So the first call I would make would be to the Brooklyn Nets, and I would offer. I would actually call both of them. I'd call Brooklyn and Utah, and the first one to call me back, we can make the trade. So Brooklyn, I would offer Dalton Connect, Rui Hashimura, Gabe Vincent for Mr. Claxton, and Cam Thomas, or somebody else you want to throw in there. For Utah, I would say I will be willing to give you Dalton Connect plus Gabe Vincent plus Rui or Maxi Kleba, and I'll take back Walker Kessler and John Collins.
Interesting. Helps you in a lot of places.
Plus, I still have a couple swaps still, Gerald, and I still have, almost, 26, 27 million cap space for trades.
Okay. Osmosis Jones says Cam Johnson, maybe. I know he'll probably be someone that they're going to put out there in a trade.
Him and if you wanted him and Claxton in a trade, that's around 43, 44 million. So you'd have to sweeten the offer. Sean Marks usually doesn't do that. He usually doesn't do these like big, very complex trades, Cheryl. He likes keeping things simple. Give me 4 first-round picks like Phoenix did. Give me 4 first-round picks. Let's make it simple. He doesn't like these complicated trades.
Well, I'm going in to try and fill out some of my roster. I'm thinking Jackson Hayes, Alex Len, Markieff Morris. All 3 of those individuals are gone. Jordan Goodwin, that's a team option. Shake Milton is non-guaranteed. I'm going to say you're going to go ahead and as much as I like Jordan Goodwin, but I don't think I want to commit to him. So I think I'm going to go ahead and lean in different directions. So if let's just say the market became really dry, Magic and Joe, I know some people that have mentioned in there as far as some players. Let's just say that a Kevin Porter Jr. is still trying to search out for a team, even with his bad reputation. That's someone that could be out there. A DeAnthony Melton, if he is, even if you sign him on a minimum, Sean, even if he's not ready to start the season after his injury, again, he is a player who just absolutely was one of the key reasons why Golden State got off to a great start and one of the key reasons why they faltered when he got hurt. So
100%,
I'm assuming he's going to try and get a job cheap. And if that's the case, he would be available. And if you're wanting another center, because I've already drafted 2 big guys, but if you don't feel safe with that, I'm going to say, I know people are talking about Clint Capella, but there's another backup center / forward I would probably like a little tiny bit more, and that's Larry Nance Jr., who shot a career high from beyond the arc. I think close to, was it 45%? I think from 3.
Yes.
So yes, if he is willing to work for the minimum, because he's now 33, his best years behind him, but can still do things for you at the forward and center position. I'd like to fill it out with those 3 guys. Plus, there's whatever you can do to fill out the roster with my other 2 spots as well. So there you go. And then those are my 4th and 5th spots. Joe, any last maneuvers? Obviously, the LeBron issue would be something you would address, as you've stated on the show many times. Anything else you would try to do to add to some players to your roster?
See if you can go find that next non-drafted gem. Whoever that is. Seems like they've been really good at doing that.
There you go. I think Amari Williams. I think Amari Williams is someone who was invited to camp, but invited to the G League invite camp, but not the 7-footer, 250 pounds out of Kentucky, played in the tough SEC. I think he's a really high level rebounder and also a pick and roll guy. So I've seen what he's been able to do on the lobs. So with Luka, could someone that might develop for you if whoever you draft at 55 doesn't work out. So Day'Ron Sharpe Leon is 6'9". He's going to be a restricted free agent, but he's small. So if I would rather have a 6'9" Larry Nance Jr. who could stretch the floor than a 6'9" Day'Ron Sharpe that can.
And Gerald, it'll be very interesting what we see happen out of Orlando. They're dancing around the tax apron. They have a lot of mix of young players, but some of them are on inflated contracts as well. And Gerald, they have to make a decision about Mo Wagner. Mo Wagner has a team option, but he blew out his knee this year. and they're going to have to decide whether or not they bring him back and
Piss
when
off
he
his brother,
comes-
or not,
yeah.
and piss off his brother.
his brother, Franz, who's maybe side-eyeing the organization after they make a move like that. So
Plus,
it'll
they
be
need
very-
people that can score on that team.
they're desperate for scoring, Gerald. So I mean, if you were the Lakers, don't be shocked if the Lakers and Magic end up in extended trade talks, especially if John Hammond finds out that he might be able to get Austin Reeves.
Good point. Yeah, because they need scoring. Scoring.
Oh,
punch.
if you put Reeves beside Suggs and Wagner, that's one of the best backcourt / perimeter trio in the league, and they would be a top 6 seed in the Eastern Conference with those guys.
Brook Lopez is a free agent, but he will not.
37. 37.
37.
Eventually, the wheels fall off. Eventually, do you want to be the team?
He's going to go ring chasing. He's going to go ring chasing.
He will. He will.
Does he ask for the minimum, or does he try to get the MLA?
I think he's still productive enough to want the MLE, Gerald.
Okay, I'm not paying it for him.
I'm not paying it either, but he's still productive enough to ask for it.
Joe, any interest in Brook Lopez for you to return to the Lakers?
If you can't get a center, then you got to get someone.
Okay.
At least somebody that can play 15 minutes and not be a complete schlep.
Steven Adams is a name that also was brought up. Too expensive for us guys?
I think he's too expensive, and the culture, and there's a cultural clash with him.
Really? How so?
Well, if you look at all of his stops so far in the NBA, Gerald, let's go through them.
Okay.
Either by choice or through trade. Oklahoma City, New Orleans, Memphis, Houston.
Okay.
There's a clash there. I don't think he would sign with the Lakers. Ironically, I do think he would sign with the Warriors, though.
I think they might be interested in him. They could probably offer a little bit more on the MLE. But Joe, think he's too pricey? Steven Adams, again, would run really good on the pick and roll with Luka.
I don't know. That's a good one.
That's rebounding, offensive rebounding.
This is going to be a very interesting offseason in that I'm anticipating a lot of trades. And I'm anticipating it because there's this apron issue is going to force it. So it's just really hard to gauge on what is realistic and what isn't. And then all you need is one star to put a monkey wrench in it. Remember 3 years ago when Durant wanted out of
Brooklyn?
It stopped everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the beginning of one of the worst off seasons in the NBA in a while.
Well, there's hints that Giannis is going to derail the off season with his diva behavior.
It sucks to see somebody start to fall, isn't it? I thought he'd be a little bit stronger mentally, but I hope he doesn't turn into a Durant, just a jaded, cynical player late in his career.
Jalen Williams, the Arkansas Jalen Williams, trying to figure out, he's
on a third year of a 4-year rookie deal.
Yeah, so he's got one more year left. 6'8", 250. Yeah, he did pretty good defending Jokic in the last round. So
he did. Yeah. Oklahoma City is not going to be able to afford him.
No, he's someone that might go for the mid level if you or actually might hire. Might go between 10 and 20 if he was a free agent. Summer 2026, but I think that Oklahoma City has the right to go ahead still at that time because it would be only a second contract. Kendrick Williams, Looking at him, he's someone similar in size and ability as we saw. He's a little bit more expensive. He is 30 years old, so he is on a 3-year contract. He is going to be a free agent in the summer of 2027. So
They can't keep all these guys. Wallace, the Williams triplets, Wiggins. They're going to lose at least 2 of those guys. They're going to have to decide who they want to keep.
I would say they're going to probably keep Jalen Williams from Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the other Jalen Williams as well. Kenrick is the one. He's a little bit more expensive right now, and he has less upside because he is the second oldest player in the team next to Alex Caruso. So, yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, Robert, we've been talking about that. Big who can space the floor. We need a rim runner defender type. Well, we need a lot of things on this team. I think depth is the issue, and we tried to go ahead and work on that today. So, Joe, you feel pretty good, and Sean, I'll ask you too. Joe, you feel pretty good about how you built out this team during the summer? No. Why not?
I don't think it's going to happen. That has to be.
You were running the team.
Yeah, I don't think Danny Ainge is going to let Kessler go for what I would want him to go for. I think my worry is that there's going to be an extension, and that's throwing everything off for me.
For Kessler, you're assuming?
Yes. No, I'm talking about LeBron James. I don't give a shit about Kessler.
That one. Yes, that's something that could throw everything off for us.
Yeah, if they extend LeBron, then everything goes to shit after that.
Joe almost made that sound Kelsey Grammer made as Sideshow Bob when he got annoyed. Like that groaning. Just Gerald, please, like if there is a contract extension and a 1-for-1, let's just give it a couple days because Joe's gonna need a couple days to simmer down.
Yeah, I agree. Robert says Joe's energy is not encouraging, and I completely understand why. But Sean.
I gotta wait to see what happens here. This that's the first thing that has to get taken care of. Otherwise, this all is as Joey Tribbiani said once, it's all a moo point.
All right. Well, Sean, if that's the case, how do you feel about the team that you built?
I feel okay about it. I think I checked off about 3 out of the 5 things we're lacking. We'd still be lacking, a little bit of depth and probably a little bit of secondary facilitating. But that being said, I like the team. The shooting's good. The defense would be a little above par to average. It wouldn't be completely dysfunctional. So I would like the squad I put together there.
So we'll leave it with JY's question. Hey, G, how many years will it take? Because I know you've been asking good questions, JY. I'm not trying to ignore it, but this today was about what we wanted to do. I know last week was about what you guys wanted to do to build the team. This week was about what we want to do. But I wanted to make sure I wanted to answer one of your good questions today. JY says, hey, G, how many years will it take for the Lakers to be a formidable opponent for OKC and even Minnesota? The Lakers have only won 1 game in each of these playoff series. So Joe says 2. Sean, what are your thoughts? I say if the Lakers have someone that's capable in the front office, I could see it happening this offseason. But the key word is someone capable in the front office, which I'm not totally convinced of. Go ahead, Sean. Your thoughts.
I agree, Gerald. Unlike a couple of the panelists in our community, me and Gerald are skeptical about Rob Pelinka's competencies as an NBA GM because he has been more incompetent than competent sitting in that chair. I would venture to guess.
How does Caruso look on OKC, Sean?
Gerald, makes me sick just thinking about it. Just thinking about it.
Could be the difference. It could be the difference again.
Makes me sick. You freaking Ukrainian son of a bitch. You would have rather had THT than Alex Caruso. You son of a bitch.
It just reminds me of the time when Mark Jackson was loudly coming on the air as we were the tip off
Nick
for
T,
game
you couldn't
6.
cook water, buddy.
Yeah.
Good luck.
To the
Go ahead,
Oh,
go on, Joe.
it just reminds me of when Mark Jackson was criticizing Frank Vogel for starting Alex Caruso in Game 6 just before tip-off, and kind of got very quiet after that, and I'll just leave it at that. But Leon says, I wasn't here to see your guys' reaction to the Mavs getting Cooper Flag. Again, whether you want to say that it's rigged or it's fixed, yeah. But Nick T, if you want to come on, just the Lakers Fast Break at yahoo.com. We'll get you on a show, but I seriously doubt that you will cook Joe or Magic Man. But if you want to get cooked, again, send us an email. We'll get you.
Careful what you wish for; you just might get it.
Yes, and remember, we remember a lot of the comments that you've made in the past, and we'll just leave it at that. So,
and what Joe doesn't remember, I do. So,
I would normally say that's a possibility, Nick. But the problem is, right now, the league is wide open. There is no dominant team. OKC is not a dominant team. As we saw, Denver almost dispatched them in 7 games. So with that, the doors open for any team to come in there with the right moves, the right front office, the right transactions to make it possible.
This is what is equivalent to what happened in the NFL when Brady blew out his ACL.
There you go. I agree. But yeah, Nick, if you want to jump on a show to see if you can own Magic Man and Joe Sorrell, just come on over. Lakers Fast Break at yahoo.com. But did want to mention Friday we'll have on
Gerald, where is Nick T from?
I don't know. Where is Nick T from?
You want to own me, huh? You want that means you want to brand me, huh? You want to brand me. You ever even try brand a bull? You ever see how that works, Nick? Come on, try it. Try it.
He said St. Lucia. So.
Oh yeah, no, not a lot of bulls on that island. Beautiful, beautiful place. I love that. I love it. But yeah, be careful about trying to brand somebody you don't know where you're going.
But we are saying, if you want to come on and you want to go ahead live with your thoughts, Lakers Fast Break at yahoo.com. We'll go ahead and leave it at that. But tomorrow, it will be Game 2, New York and Indiana. Vari will be there on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. And we'll find out if they go ahead and Indiana goes up 2-0 or if New York can tie up the series at MSG. But Joe and Sean, this has been a great exercise on how we see things and how we would decide to build the team going forward. It was interesting. Big shout out to John Costa, Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner. Go ahead and like and subscribe. Like and subscribe to Joe Sorrell's channel, Joe Sorrell and the Experiment. Something this weekend for the Experiment coming up for you?
Yes.
Okay. Absolutely. Dodgers had the day off. So yes, definitely looking forward to seeing what they can do this weekend. Magic Man Sean Grice is here as well, making sure he gives you what he needs to give you as far as analysis that you need for the Lakers this upcoming summer. So really appreciate Sean stopping by. But again, if you have any questions for us, put it down below after you watch this or Lakers Fast Break at yahoo.com. Looking forward to seeing your guys' thoughts and comments. Again, also as well, looking forward to seeing you on playback with the playoff games. And then, of course, we'll be back over the course of the weekend. I'm thinking a Sunday deal for us. So Sunday night, go ahead and pop on another show. We're still bringing shows at you, still bringing it here. And again, if you like what we do, please go ahead and let us know. Like and subscribe on the way out. Always helps to become a member today for just $2.99 a month indeed. SB says, didn't he say you guys? Oh yeah, that was Rodell. That was Rodell. Yes. So Nick, appreciate it. Everybody out there in the chat, cannot thank you enough for supporting us. Cannot thank you enough for going ahead and sharing your thoughts, the comments. And as for Joe Sorrell and Sean Grice, it's Gerald Glassford. Have yourself a great evening from all of us. right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. Left already.
He did?
Yeah, I think he was scared of the Joe Soros stopper.
Oh, okay. Well,